This show is brought to you by the Deluxe Edition Network. Head over to the Den.show for other great podcasts.
Snap into a Slim Jim, brother.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Deluxe Edition, the show where Casey and I love to dig deep into classic pop culture. My name is Bill Sebald, here as always with Mr. Casey Shearer. How are you, sir?
Good, Bill. How are you, buddy?
Good. We have been off for a couple weeks.
Yes. Where have we been?
Yeah, holidays and, work. My work's been crazy. I don't know if your work's been different. Yeah, exhale the weed. Exhale. I didn't even see you take it in this time, and you just all of a sudden you burped out marijuana smoke. Oh, another reason we've been off. We actually went to the Roseblood premiere. We went there. What was it? I think it was last week. It was Sunday.
Yeah, November 28th was the Roseblood premiere. Roseblood is a Friday the 13th fan film. And I drove up from Florida, picked Bill up in Reading, Pennsylvania. We drove up to Connecticut, to Branford, Connecticut, and had a great time at the Roseblood convention/premiere.
That's right. Yeah. This thing was a comedy of errors for you, dude. Like, you drove all this way. And because Casey used to live here, so Casey had to pick up something, something that he had to take back. He forgot his key. He drove all this way from Florida to Pennsylvania and forgot his key. I was like, oh man, I feel so bad. But you're like, don't worry, dude. Look at this awesome new banner that we got. I printed this awesome banner out that we can hang. We can hang up at the premiere. Casey got us a booth, which is the craziest thing to be sitting at a booth. Like, we've seen so many of the celebrities that we like at booths, and then we're sitting at booths, and it was so fucking awkward, Casey. But you got us a banner, and I'm looking at the banner. We're about to get in the car and go to Connecticut. We get to Connecticut. He goes, I forgot the banner. Damn it. I was like, oh no, I was feeling so bad for you. You did so much driving, and it's like nothing was going right.
Hey, I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, even though I forgot the banner, we had a table next to Kevin Spiritus, who is in the movie, who had a table next to Terry Kaiser, who's also in the movie, who had a table next to Lar Park Lincoln, who is also in the movie, all from reprising their roles from Part 7. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was funny when she came around because, you're on that side. You're like the celebrities, with the celebrities. And when she came around, because that was my favorite, all-time favorite Friday the 13th movie, I changed that opinion every 3 days. Okay, so take it asterisk what I just said. But it really was the one that I was most familiar with, probably, because it came out right when I was a teenager. So Lar Park Lincoln, or Tina, like, she's the one I know really, really well. And she's beautiful. And when she came around, she was so nice. And she's like, hi. And I don't know if you remember, you were right next to me. I just stood there like an idiot.
We both just were staring at her. She's like, hi, I'm Lar Park Lincoln. And we're like, we know. And she's like, and you are.
You're not wrong. It was like super embarrassing. Even before we did this podcast, like, I've met a lot of famous people. I've met a lot of important people. I don't do that very often. And I did it. And I felt so bad. I was so embarrassed that, like, I wouldn't talk to her for the rest of the day because I just felt like just too embarrassed to go up to her.
Yeah, it was a good time, though. And I will be doing a Friday the 13th Roseblood fan film review over on my other podcast, Saturdays with Chicken Duck, very soon. And put a nice little video montage together for Peter as well. So check that out. I'm not sure it would be out soon, around the same time as this. So go check that out.
We always work at nebulous time frames. We'll try to get the show out every week, and then sometimes like every 2 weeks. And I mean, it's like we have the worst goddamn luck. There's a black cloud. I've talked about it on other shows. I'm working in YouTube the other day, and our last episode, which was Movies with Killer Games, deletes. Why does it delete? Because I went to delete a partial upload of our last episode. It went up 17%. I said, well, why'd it get stuck? I don't know what to do. I go and I click delete. The 17% upload disappears, and so does the last episode. Gone. So I'm like, oh shit, no big deal, Casey. I'm a smart guy. I back things up. So I go and I look at where all the stuff is that I back up, and guess what I forgot to back up?
Movies with Killer Games.
lost the whole damn thing, Casey. I lost the whole thing. I had to go back to Zencaster. I had to download everything. I'm probably about halfway through editing it again. And like, I remember the jokes that I tried to force in the first time. And I'm like, maybe this is a chance to redeem myself and make it a little funnier. But, so add that to last week's stress.
Yeah, but the podcast is still available on every audio platform, just not in video. I know how much everyone likes to watch the videos. Bill does a nice job of adding a lot of stuff to the videos, but it is still on our audio platforms. So go check that out.
What was happening to you last week? You had a story that you were going to say for this show. You had a bad week too.
This was my birthday week. It was an awesome week. It wasn't bad. It was awesome. I had a great time. Barbara and I flew up from Florida to Norfolk, Virginia. I found out you said Norfolk, not Norfolk,
What?
not Norfolk.
Norfolk,
Virginia. Okay. So if you'll take notice, I'm wearing a LPOTL shirt. Last podcast on the left. Last week on the last episode, I had mentioned that I support this podcast. Remember the cartridge that I had? When I was in California, I found their cartridge. Flew up to Virginia to see them. Got a little show and tell here for you. So make sure you go watch the video. Got the VIP package for Barbara and I. So we had second row seats. Right, that was $171. Bill, just want to tell you that. Okay, that came second row. That came with a signed poster. I'm showing you how much I support this because it's all building to something. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, is this a commercial?
So I got their signed poster that came came with everything. This is what I do. When
You're doing free publicity for one of the biggest podcasts in the world who needs nothing from us.
Okay, I support everything that they do. I bought their comic book, Soul Plumber. Okay, copies 1 and 2. Next one comes out soon. Okay, I have their book. Okay, I'm wearing their T-shirt. We were just talking about Friday the 13th. I have another T-shirt because they're also fans of Friday the 13th, right? And this is from their other live show that I went to many years ago in Allentown. Okay.
All right. So you're a super fan and you've given them a lot of money.
Right. So, wait, one more thing. They make coffee, Bill. I bought their coffee. Okay. So.
You're like a Kiss fan. You'll buy everything that Kiss puts out. If Last House on the Left made a coffin, you're like, I got their coffin. I'm going to die in it.
So we go to their show. Great time. They put on a great live show. I take a picture. Okay, so I forget to take pictures of them throughout the entire show. It's at the VIP thing afterwards. They do not a meet and greet because of COVID. They do just a Q&A. So like anybody that wants to ask them a question can ask them a question. So I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to take their picture. I take a picture of all of them. And then I got a really great phone, that new camera you and I were talking about, the Pixel 6, awesome camera. I take a crystal clear picture of each one of them, zoomed in, crystal clear. I use a program called Layout. I mashed those pictures together, the 3 of them, and I posted it on Instagram, on our Instagram, Deluxe Edition. Tagged each one of them. Okay. Now you're a photographer, so this is where the question comes into play for you. I wake up in the morning and I look at Instagram, and one of the first things I see is my mashed up picture, the 3 photos of them that I posted. Ben Kissel now posted on his Instagram. So I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome. Didn't fucking like my picture or tag me or give me any fucking credit whatsoever.
I can
Now,
tell you're.
as
I
a
can tell you're really mad
photographer,
because all I hear is your microphone popping. Like when you get really heated, you start really popping your peas. All right,
so
take a
I,
breath. I understand what's going on here. You want my advice as a photographer. Remember, I'm not a lawyer. Okay. My understanding is, again, this isn't legal advice. However, I don't know what the fuck happened here, but they stole your picture. They didn't give you credit, and you're upset about it.
I just want credit.
You want to be seen.
I did it for our podcast, Bill.
Oh, really? It was all right. It was promotion for our podcast.
It was on Deluxe Edition. I was like, I might have said something like, maybe one day we can be this cool. Like
Got
maybe
it.
one day we can do a live show.
Yeah, look, if you took the picture, there's laws to protect the photographer so that people can't just steal it and make money off something that you created, right? Things get blurry when you're talking about Instagram. Like if you make something original yourself and you put it up on Instagram, you don't know it unless you really read the fine print, but you've given Instagram the right to use every single one of your pictures in their marketing. I don't know how it works with somebody else who's using Instagram. I just don't know. You may have a case, but then what are you going to do? Hire a lawyer for $300 an hour? Rack up a couple $1,000s worth of stuff just to send him a note, and he's going to go, "Oh, fuck this! I'm just going to take it off Instagram." So, like, you can't win that way. Yeah, you got screwed by your all-time favorite podcaster.
I haven't listened to him since.
Jeez.
I'm just
it is a dick move though. It's like, I'm just going to take this guy's picture, not even give him a heart. He's not even going to get a like.
Didn't even like my picture. Didn't even like the picture that he stole.
When he put it up, did he like it? Did he like his own?
No, he doesn't.
He posted likes his own post.
No, he's not one of those guys. But come on, Ben. How about a fucking like?
Yeah, Ben.
It's a good picture. And I've checked your Instagram, Ben. You don't get many likes. You don't get as many likes as you did on that photo. He got over 12,000 likes on that picture, Bill.
Ben, I've been hearing bad shit about you. Ever since you went to Spotify, your head just exploded, is what I hear. Who are the other guys on there?
Marcus, Parks, and Henry, and they're all right in my book.
All right. Marcus and Henry. You better slap Ben around. This guy's going to take you down. You're only as strong as your weakest link. I'm only as strong as Casey. Come on, Ben.
It leads us into the next bit that we're doing our episode, because they each do three. There's three of them, so they each do a bit. Ben does a wrestling bit. The two times I've seen him, he does wrestling bits. This last wrestling, I'm not going to give it away because they're still on tour, and I did enjoy the show. But I'm not going to lie, Ben. You've been a little lazy. This bit that you're doing is a little lazy.
How many artists are we calling podcasters artists? Yeah, I guess. How many podcasters have gone to Spotify? I know Joe Rogan went, and I know they went because I've heard a couple Joe Rogan. It's not my style of podcasting. I remember listening to them thinking it would be a horror podcast because of their name being similar to Last House on the Left, but it was like crime dramas or something, right?
Yeah,
That's who they are.
Yeah, they do true crime, murder, that stuff.
Yeah. We need a lot more of those.
Yeah.
What was the I'm trying to think of the Hulu show. Yeah, Only Murders in the Building.
Murders in the Building, yeah.
They're like, everybody's making a true crime podcast. It's like, damn, there's a lot of true crime podcasts. My wife watches one where a woman puts on makeup while she just tells stories of true crime, that's it. She talks and says, I think I talked about it on the show. She just watches this woman talk and put on eyeshadow.
Is it an Indian lady?
Not that I recall. I don't watch it, Casey. I just saw it over her shoulder. One point, I was like, but anyway, back to my original question. Who else went to Spotify?
That I don't know. I'm not sure. I know that they got a big deal, but they're leaving Spotify and going, well, they're going to still be on Spotify, but they're going back to all platforms. So,
well, something didn't work out.
Yeah, you and I were actually talking about this on our trip. A lot of people think that And if you're listening to this and you're afraid of Spotify, Spotify is free. A lot of people feel that you have to pay for Spotify, but it's free.
Yeah, I don't know why that thought started. Like people say to me, "Oh, I don't have Spotify, I have Pandora. I can't pay for Spotify." What are you talking about? It's never. I don't remember it ever have. I mean, I do pay for it because I don't like the commercials. It's $9.99 a month or something, but still, it's a free service without paying for no commercials.
Yeah. All right. Should we move on? I want to do an actual professional wrestling bit.
What are you talking about?
Well, because I shit on Kissel for his laziness on his wrestling bit. So this is like our podcast today is wrestlers who crossed over to film and television, correct?
Well, you've taught me a lot about the wrestling world. Like the other day I learned about somebody having heat or no heat. Right. So I thought when you said a bit, I thought you were going to like walk away and come back and like be in character and start pointing at me and yelling at me. Yes. No, we're going to do a segment on wrestling stars who have moved over to film and TV.
What you're referring to, Bill, is a promo.
Promo.
You thought I was going to cut a promo on you.
Yeah, I guess. That's what I thought. I said, "Uh-oh, here comes another Casey promo." So the way I thought we could do this game, I started to think, all right, I'll do the research. And I'm like, there's going to be a lot. And we're going to have a list of a bazillion, just too many. So I thought, how about I try just coming up with what I remember? And I feel, Casey, that you're better at doing the research because you usually, come more prepared than me. So let's do it this way. I'm going to name what I know, and I'm going to see if it was on your list.
Okay.
All right. So this is all from memory, from my stupid memory. I can't remember anything but stupid 80s shit, some 90s shit. Everything else is just a blur. All right. So do you have on your list? I'll start with the easy ones. These are ones that I think everyone's going to go, oh, yeah, obviously. Spider-Man.
No.
Spider-Man on your list? No?
Yeah.
All right.
It's on my honorable mention.
All right. Spider-Man, of course, had Randy Macho Man Savage, key character in the story with Spider-Man because he's the wrestler that takes on Spider-Man in the original comics. So it was cool to see him in there. I like it. He's never been in another movie. Has he?
Yeah, he's been in 3 other ones.
Which ones?
He's been in Bolt. Never. I don't know what Bolt is. Is
that the dog Disney movie? Cartoon? Was he a voice?
2008.
Could be. Yeah. He was. I bet you that's a cartoon.
He was also in Ready to Rumble.
Oh, the wrestling movie.
And he was in the TV show Mad About You also in 1999.
He was probably my favorite growing up. I just thought he was cool.
Yeah, Savage, man. He was awesome. I've heard so many stories about Randy Savage where like that was not a character. That was Randy Savage in real life. Like, hey, brother. Like the snap into a Slim Jim, brother.
Well, that sounds a lot like Hulk Hogan. They're like the same sounding guy.
My wrestling impersonations aren't the best.
Let me hear you do Andre the Giant. What's up, brother? All right. So what about The Princess Bride, right? That's a pretty well-known one. That's got Andre the Giant. I don't know anything else he was in, right?
Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant, he's in one of my... He's in also my honorable mention category. He was in the $6 Million Man, the show.
Yeah.
You want to know what he played in that?
Probably a giant.
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. Wow.
Sasquatch.
That's like insulting. That's like you can't do anything else but play Bigfoot. We can't give you a human part, but we can give you the part of a giant Sasquatch.
Make sure you watch the video. Bill's going to put up clips of all this stuff. I'm almost positive he will be able to find a picture of Andre the Giant as Bigfoot from the $6 Million Man in a pair of sneakers.
Oh, God, no.
That exists.
Shit. Trying to be lazy on the editing, but you just called me out. Now I'm going to have to find it.
So Andre was also in Mickey and Maude. You remember that?
I do. That's a great movie. Wait
He
a
was,
minute. Mickey and Maude. What's Mickey and Maude? That's not the one about the little boy and the old lady.
like I said, I'm not
Harold and
exactly
Maude. Harold and Maude. What's Mickey and Maude?
I'm not exactly sure what these movies are. They just made my honorable mention list.
That's crazy.
Because Andre, like, because they're so well known, that's only why they made my honorable mention, because I feel like a lot of people know, or they're gonna know these movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was also in Trading Mom, which in 1994, which I'm not sure what that is. He was in Zorro in 1991 with
Antonio Banderas.
was that Zorro? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking of the Phantom with the other guy.
Yeah, what's his name?
Zane
Something, yeah.
Billy
Zane. Yeah. Oh, it sucks when you get to that point in Hollywood that it's like your name now isn't on the tip of people's tongue. It's like got that 5-second delay.
Here's
But
one
we still remember you, Billy. You're still in our hearts. You're just not in our heads.
Here's one that it says that he's in Major League 2.
Probably a cameo.
It must be, because I'm pretty familiar with the Major League movies. I don't remember that at all.
Mm.
Real quick side Tom Berenger story from Major League. I was so excited. I saw him at a Comic-Con one time, and I had my nephew with me, and Tom Berenger, he thought my nephew was my son, and he's like, "Doesn't your son want to get in the photo?" I was like, "Oh no, he doesn't know who Tom Berenger is." He goes, "Oh, he will. He will."
He will. How old is your nephew now?
14.
Has he figured him out yet?
Not yet, no.
He will. Oh, I have something coming up. It's going to blow your mind, Casey. Still waiting for it, Tom. How about here's one that everybody knows. Everybody, when I first mentioned this to a couple people, probably 5 people said, "Oh, that's a great topic. Obviously, you're going to do They Live."
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Rowdy Roddy Piper and They Live.
Yep.
That might be one of the most popular ones.
Yeah. I would say.
And that movie was kind of big when it came out. Like, he really had the chance to sort of start a Hollywood career, I guess, as an action star. I don't know what happened. How come, as a hit, how come that didn't propel him into bigger things?
Well, he was actually in quite a few things too, Bill. He was in he starred in Hell Comes to Frogtown, 1988.
Oh.
Back to this actually made my list. Piper made my list as an honorable mention also. They Live. We've talked about this band before on this podcast several times. Our friend, well, he's not our friend. He's passed away long before we started this. Buck Flowers.
Yeah. Yeah. Our friend Buck. Uh-huh.
He's in They Live, and it might be the only time Buck is ever in a suit.
Buck in a suit.
Remember, he usually plays like a drunk.
Disheveled, yeah.
Yeah, but in They Live, if you know the story of They Live, like the characters they're trying to please the other people, like the people from the other planet, and like Buck is one of the ones that are trying to like pass as, to get by, try and succeed, and he's in a suit. I was like, no fucking way, but it's Buck.
That's one of the fun things about our show. We get to remember these guys that, their faces from our memory. They're permanently imprinted into our brain, even though we can't remember their names.
Yeah. One more, Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Rowdy Roddy.
It was also in there was when I was a kid and when you were a child, there was also a cartoon, Rockin' Wrestling. You remember that?
I don't.
You don't remember that with like Cyndi Lauper, Hogan, the Iron Sheik, Andre the Giant, all those guys. It was a cartoon, yeah, Rockin' Wrestling.
Saturday morning type deal.
Yep.
Yeah, that one doesn't ring a bell. Man,
Yeah.
I could name, that should be an episode.
Yeah.
I could name a lot of them. That was an exciting thing. Were you old? Did Saturday morning cartoons still exist when you were a kid, or did it?
Yeah,
Because I remember it sort of ended pretty quick and sudden.
I had like He-Man, G.I. Joe. I had that Saturday. There was a nice Saturday morning lineup. I remember.
We're gonna have to do an episode with that. I remember dumb ones like I think I remember a Teen Wolf one. I remember a My Pet Monster one. Like these things that are so obscure. I was sitting there the other day thinking of these stupid things, and I'm like, I don't know if these are real or my head is just making shit up at this point. Like they seem really, really like, how did they ever think to make a the Munchie Cheese cartoon? Like there were all these just crazy cartoons coming out. That's a whole nother show. All right, back to this one. All right, so we've talked about 3 wrestlers. Do you have any more for Rowdy Roddy?
I do. He was in a movie called Portal to Hell. Nah, that was from 2015. He was also in one called Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies. Pretty self-explanatory. He was also in a few episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. If you remember that, Frank, Danny DeVito becomes a pro wrestler. He's like the trash man, and they think they befriend Piper. Everybody knows Always Sunny from our friend Gregory Scott Cummins was in that as Mac's dad. That is all for Piper.
Hotel Artemis I put on the list. You ever see Hotel Artemis? We talked about it a couple episodes ago when we were talking about Dave Bautista. And I you can name a bunch of Dave Bautista movies. I didn't do that. I didn't do The Rock. I didn't do, the ones that are really big now. This list would take forever. So I'm skipping a lot of them. But for Dave Bautista, who's doing a lot of stuff right now, Hotel Artemis is badass. It's a great movie. And I can't remember what streaming channel it's on, but take my advice and just go check this one out. How about I put Rocky 3 on here? Obviously, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
What was his name in that? Thunderlips. Thunderlips. What a good name.
If you actually go back into Hogan's career, that's what he used to wear, the white trunks, and pretty similar to his character back then.
How come he didn't use the name Thunderlips?
I don't know.
That's a lot better than Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
I'd like to use Thunderlips as my name. Hey, how's the Mighty Mufflin Man going? Muffler Man, are you got that new name on your Instagram? I need something like that. I got Bill the Mountain. Bill the Mountain is one that I use. It's like, you know what Bill the Mountain is for? It's a Frank Zappa song. It used to be Billy the Mountain, and like 20 years ago, I made it Bill the Mountain. Thought I was really funny, and now it's like my main email, and I'm like, oh geez, I got to give it to people. Yes, sir. All right, we're going to send company right out. Okay, can you give me your email? Bill the Mountain. Can you spell what? No, like Conan the Barbarian, Bill the Mountain. It's so embarrassing to have like a stupid old. I'm stuck with it. I'm stuck with it now.
Mine is my old email address I've had forever is casedog99.
Case Dog.
Like everybody in high school, like my best friend Kelly called me Case Dog, and I graduated in 99, and like I think that's basically when email came out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so you're in the same boat I am. But I digress. All right, so we have Hulk Hogan in Rocky 3. I also remembered seeing Hulk Hogan in an A-Team episode. So
Really?
we got that. I remember also, I don't remember No Holds Barred that well, but I know it's going to come up on this show because it was a wrestling movie, and I think there's a lot of wrestlers in it.
Yeah.
So I remember he was in it, even though I never saw the movie. Was he in anything else that you know of?
Hogan was in, what was Hogan's not on my list because I'm not a real big Hulk Hogan fan, to be honest with you, but he was in, Suburban Commando. Remember that one?
Yes. Oh, God. Oh, man.
How about
I think he won an Oscar for that one.
Mr. Nanny?
Mr. Nanny. He also won an Oscar for Mr. Nanny. Yeah.
That's all I have on Hulk Hogan. That's all I can tell you about that. All I can tell you about Hulk Hogan is there would be no Hulk Hogan if it weren't for the Iron Sheik. Look it up. Google it.
All right. Tickling our ass with a feather there. I guess we'll Google it.
Do you want to know? I can tell you. It doesn't have anything to do with movies.
If it's brief, we got a shit ton
It's
here.
not brief. It's a wrestling history story.
All right. We can save that for when we come back around to wrestling. All right. Listen, Captain Lou Albano.
What was he in?
Don't you know? He was in the Mario Brothers cartoon. He played Mario. All right. We're getting out there now.
No, he did not.
Look it up. Absolutely. There's tons of footage of it. It's him and Luigi running around and being Mario. Yeah, man. It really happened.
There's a live action Mario movie, and Captain Lou Albano is Mario.
Not a movie. It's an old kid show. It's a Saturday morning show from what I remember. And it's segments of Captain Lou live action running around a little house with another actor playing Luigi. And they're like, oh no, it's we have some shit to deal with. And then they deal with their shit real fast. And then they roll a cartoon.
With the Mario Brothers and plumbing's a game. We're not like the others who get all the fame. If your sink is in trouble, you can call us on the double. We're faster than the others, you'll be hooked on the brothers. Hooked on the brothers.
That's amazing.
You like my Mario impression? That was a really good one, right? Yeah. That's why you said it's amazing. No, it really existed. It was real. I'm looking at my list here. China. Well, she was in a porn. I guess we're not counting that. Womp,
Yeah.
womp. How about Walking Tall is a movie that I remember really liking. It was like
Great
the first
movie.
movie I saw with Rock. We were on a first name basis. Rock. I can't remember much about it. There was another one, too, that came out about the same time. It was him and Stifler. Remember him from American Pie? What was that one called? I think I even liked that one a little bit better.
That was. What? Are you sure that wasn't Walking Tall?
No. Maybe it was.
I'm pretty sure he was in that. No, Johnny Knoxville was in Walking Tall. I don't know.
Sean, Patrick, Scott, Fillmore, Smith, Johnson, the guy with the three names. I can't remember. Patrick, just Sean, Jason, Todd, Whitman. What the fuck is this guy's name?
Stifler?
Stifler. Yeah. What's the actor's name? Man, he was a big actor, and he was in Evolution. He was in this Rock movie. He was in the American Pie movies. He was in a movie called a hockey movie that's really fucking funny called Goon. And then he went away. He just vanished, this actor. And I can't remember his name. It's like, look, if you're going to put three names in your name and be an actor, you're going to risk me forgetting at least one of them. Too hard. What the
fuck was his name now? Sean Michael Scott.
Cummings. Sean Cummings. Sean Michael Scott Schneider.
No, who cares?
All right. We're moving on. All right. We talked about Running Man. I think that was another.
Wait.
We can't go through them all. We will be here forever. This will take me 10 years to edit.
I want to talk about Walking Tall.
All right. Talk about it.
So The Rock was in Walking Tall. You mentioned it.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock's version of the Walking Tall movie was decorated military officer Chris Vaughn returns to hometown. Remember that? And he tries to find work, but they're trying to run him out of town.
Mm-hmm. So
that's a remake of an original of Walking Tall, the original Walking Tall, which was made in 1973. And I'm confused as to why they didn't use the same storyline from the first Walking Tall, because the first Walking Tall from 1973 was a semi-biopic about Sheriff Buford Pusser, who was a professional wrestler turned lawman in Tennessee, played by Joe Don Baker. And it was based on Pusser's life. It's a cult film, 2 direct sequels, TV movie, a brief TV series, and then a remake with The Rock that's had 2 of its own sequels. So like, why wouldn't they go with that storyline? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, we're going to remake this movie, but change the story completely.
With a professional wrestler playing.
Yeah. We have an actor that actually makes sense to the role, and we're going to completely change the role.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't know that was a remake.
Yeah. Yeah, and the first one seems like, to me, because of my background in pro wrestling and my love of pro wrestling, the first one seems more like something I would watch you know what I mean? I would prefer to watch that one.
Well, again, I don't know. I tried to consult them, and they didn't listen. They just wanted nothing to do with me.
All right.
All right. We're gonna move on to another wrestler. All right. I got 3 more on my list. Only 3 more. And they're 3 weird ones. Very weird ones that I'm gonna be surprised if they're on your list. King Kong Bundy was in Married with Children.
Sure was.
You have that one.
I don't have that one, but I know, or I knew, I've met Chris.
Oh, Chris Kong. Chris Kong Bundy.
Yeah, my good friend Dan Rose was a pro wrestler. He was pretty, big in our area, and whenever like the old stars would come to our town to wrestle, Dan would be put against the stars because he was like the best in our area. So he wrestled King Kong Bundy one time, actually a few times I think, but the first time he wrestled him, he's got a great story about it. He hit Bundy pretty hard, and in the back, Bundy, Danny, fuck! I worked Hogan and he wasn't that fucking stiff. Jesus Christ! So yeah, I know Bundy.
Yeah. This was really early wrestling for me. Like I remember discovering WWF and then knowing that there was a secret other wrestling thing with a guy named King Kong Bundy. That's all I knew. And then when he appeared on Married with Children, I was like, I know that guy. That guy's fascinating. King Kong Bundy. But didn't he cross over? Did he eventually get into the WWF?
Oh yeah, he was in WrestleMania 3, I believe. Or no, he might have been in WrestleMania, let's see. WrestleMania 2, he wrestled Hulk Hogan in a steel cage for the WWF. He passed away in 2019. He had actually, he was in a lot of stuff. He was in Married with Children, Weird Science, Boy Meets World. And then he actually went on to, after retiring from wrestling, he went on to have a pretty big stand-up career around Jersey.
What? Really?
Yeah.
He did stand-up comedy?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, he was great, man. Oh, he was in that movie too. I remember him. Do you remember that movie Moving with Richard Pryor?
Yeah. Yeah, I never saw it.
Yeah, he was one of the movers. Yeah, he was a good man. He was a good guy. I met him a few times. He was a good guy. Funny as hell, man. So funny. The real quick story about Bundy. I remember these guys, they got so loaded, and they were taking him home, and nobody knew, like they didn't know where he lived, and he was like that hammered that he couldn't tell them where he lived. And they finally like got him to his house, but he didn't have his keys to his house, so he crawled through the window, and like I think he wound up on the, on his couch, like with his, from what I've heard, his feet were sticking out of his window, and he was like passed out onto his couch.
Wow. Wow. All the kids in the neighborhood walking by, throwing stones at his ass, just hanging out the window. That's funny. Could you imagine? Like, wow, I live in the same neighborhood as King Kong Bundy, the famous wrestler. You want me to show you his house? And you drive by, and there's just this ass and feet. That's really crazy. All right, Mr. Bundy. All right. How about Queen Kong? Do you know who Queen Kong is?
I know. I don't know. Queen Kong. Are you sure that's the name she goes by?
She was then. Because I just remember being Queen Kong, and I remember King Kong Bundy, and I know her face, and I see her face. She used to be on Night Court a lot, and I loved Night Court. So she would come on Night Court. I'm pretty sure she was part of Glow.
Okay.
Remember Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling?
Yeah.
So, right? We count that as wrestling?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she was Queen Bundy, or Queen Kong, rather. Not Bundy. Yeah, Night Court. That was a good show.
Yeah, we'll have to look that one up. I never watched the original Glow show. They made a Glow Netflix show that was really good.
Yeah, I watched that, but I did watch the original Glow. I had a buddy named Matt. He loved it. He loved it. He was so into Glow, and I'd hang out with him after school, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm kind of watching this too, and got into this. All right, yeah. So I had a little bit of fandom for Glow, just for one. I think 6th grade or whatever grade I was in. Didn't last very long, but I don't think Glow did either.
No,
right? It wasn't around very long.
No, the show on Netflix is a fictional portrayal of that time period. It's a good show. Your buddy Mark Maron's in it.
No, I don't like Mark Maron. I don't like him. Another one of the podcasts is just, you got an audience. You just can't fucking talk and say whatever the fuck you want. You got to think about the people listening. Oh, he's the worst at it. That style just drives me absolutely insane. You can tell like when he's done talking, like his guests are usually dazed. Remember the one I told you? Poor guy. He's interviewing what's his name? Waters.
Christopher Walken.
John Waters.
Oh, John Waters, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and 15 minutes into the podcast, John Waters is like, wait a minute, are we recording? And he goes, yeah, man, that's how I roll. And you can tell he was like, I don't want any of that on the air. I hate that. Oh, makes me so uncomfortable to even listen to it. All right, how about this is my last one, and then we can get to your list. So Goldberg was on the Goldbergs. Pretty funny. I was watching the Goldbergs. I think that's a great show. And all of a sudden, they got a guy named I forget the name of the coach. He was the brother of the main coach. He comes in, and I'm like, that's Goldberg on the Goldbergs. And I was like, oh, aren't I fucking so smart for figuring that out? But he was kind of funny. He was a good actor. He was funny on the show.
Was he? I hope he's a better actor than he was a wrestler.
What was he as a wrestler? See, I didn't really know him. I just knew a name, but him as a name, but I've never really seen him do anything.
He was in WCW. I didn't watch WCW, but anything that I've ever seen on him, they just made him look like a monster. He was undefeated for a long time. He would just come in, destroy people. He had a move. I forget what he did, but there's a really good video if anyone wants to watch. It's William Regal versus Goldberg, and William Regal is an actual knows how to wrestle professional wrestler. Like he's an amateur shoot style wrestler, and he goes in there and just makes Goldberg look like a fucking idiot. Looks so stupid, just so dumb. It's fucking awesome.
Well, it was scripted that way, right? You got to remember, man, this stuff isn't real.
Dude, I was a pro wrestler. I know when stuff is real and when stuff's not real. And when this guy, William Regal, is trying to put a move or do something to Goldberg, and he's just standing there like an asshole, like he doesn't even know how to go with the flow of what they're doing. Like he's just dumb. I can't say he's dumb. I don't know him personally. He just doesn't know how to fucking wrestle. Never did.
See, this is what I've always liked about talking to you about wrestling. I see none of this. I see everything the guy does is scripted. You know, like he's dumb, and I'm like, he's trying to be dumb. He's a dumb guy. No. So I love you could just tell by the way that he does this that he's just a dumb guy. And I'm like, he's reading a script. He's doing what he's told. No, but you can see something I can't see. It's amazing.
If it was scripted, no, he's not supposed to look like an idiot. He was a monster. He's supposed to go in there. The script is, I'm going to come in there and look like a monster and destroy you, and I win. And William Regal tried to put holds on him or was putting moves on him, and he couldn't go with the flow. Professional wrestling is an art. It's just like movies, television, anything. It's an art. You don't want to hurt the other person, or you want to make it look as real as possible. You know what I mean? Like it's a dance almost.
Sure.
And if they're doing it, if both guys are doing it as good as they possibly can, I mean, it's just fucking, there's nothing better. There's no fucking athlete, NFL, MLB, hockey, base, fucking no other athlete like a pro wrestler, dude.
None.
I'll put him against fucking anybody.
What about a bowler?
Fuck bowlers. Fat fucks.
Oh man. Oh, we just
There's
lost all
some fat wrestlers too.
Every bowler that was our fan is now gone. Our numbers are dwindling.
There's some fat wrestlers too.
All right. Well, that was all that I have. I'm looking one last time at my list. Yeah, that was all that I had. Did we say Running Man? We talked about Running Man before. Running Man has a couple wrestlers in it. We talked about that in another episode. All right. Who did I miss?
All right. So let's just a quick rundown. You mentioned The Rock. He was also in Rampage, Jumanji, Fast and Furious, Journey, Ballers, Mona, G.I. Joe, Retaliation, and Baywatch. Dave Bautista. Dude, I watched a really good Dave Bautista movie. It was called Marauders. Have you seen this?
No, never heard of it.
Bruce Willis and Christopher Maloney. Both in it.
Well, there you go. You're in good company with Bruce Willis these days.
Dude, great.
Unless it was
movie,
an older
dude.
Bruce Willis. Was it new Bruce Willis or old Bruce Willis?
This was 5-10 years ago, Bruce Willis, maybe. I don't have a date. I don't have a date down. A bank was hit by a heist. FBI agents dig deeper. It's a lot of twists and turns. There's conspiracy in there. Good movie, really good.
Yeah, you liked it. All right.
Another good one with Bautista. I really like the comedy that he does. Have you seen this My Spy that he did?
I've seen the one he did with the guy from Eternals and Silicon Valley, whose name I can't remember. Stuber. I've seen Stuber.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet. That's on my list to watch, but this one's My Spy. It's with Kristen Schaal. Also, do you know her?
No.
She's really funny. She's really, really funny. They're FBI agent or CIA people. Kristen Schaal and Bautista. They're in the CIA and they're like set up in this building and they're supposed to be hiding out watching everybody, and they're caught, or their cover is blown by a 9-year-old Sophie, and then like the whole movie, like she wants Dave Bautista to like teach her how to be a CIA agent, and it's just like a cute kid like comedy you don't see anymore. You don't see that shit anymore.
Yeah, it sounds like Mr. Nanny.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, so he's Bautista made it big with Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Then he's in Avengers. He's in the new Blade Runner also. I haven't seen that. He's in another one called Hotel. Oh, you said Hotel Artemis is really good, right?
Yep, really good.
All right, so let's go back to the beginning here, Bill. None of these wrestlers, this wouldn't be happening. Wrestlers probably eventually would have transitioned over into TV and movies, but there was a man named Mike Mazurky. He first appeared in the movie Black Fury from 1935.
Oh, what did you do? You went to Wikipedia and you scrolled all the way down to the 30s. Oh man, we're gonna be here all night.
Cool, dude. I watched him in. Do you remember? No, this isn't the guy. He's in a really good movie called Challenge to Be Free.
And this is an old one, like a 30s movie?
This is from the 70s. He worked, dude. This guy was in 170 movies. So yeah, he was. This is the guy I was talking about. So he was in the original Dick Tracy TV show and movie, the original, and then he was in the movie also, but in the 90s.
Hold on. What kind of wrestler was he? Was he like an Olympic professional wrestler, or was he like a
No, he was a pro wrestler.
Television professional wrestler.
Yeah,
they had that all the way back then?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was scripted. Was it acted out, or did they have characters at all? The shit that we got in the 80s.
Back then, I think the only thing that was scripted was the finish, and they worked. I don't know the complete history of when professional wrestling became scripted, but yeah, he was a pro wrestler. He was He worked with all-time greats like Ray Steele, Gus Sonnenberg, Frank Sexton, Gene Kiniski. Lou Thez is a big one. Man Mountain Dean. He was in a ton of movies. He worked with John Wayne, Marilyn Monroe, Tony Curtis. I watched him in a good one, Abbott and Costello in Hollywood.
I've never seen that.
You've never seen Abbott and Costello in Hollywood?
Not that one. No.
Oh man, great movie. He's Mike Mazurky. He's getting a little older in his career there in this one, but they're in a scene and they need a dummy. They're supposed to throw a dummy over the railing, and Abbott, or I think, which is the short one? Do you remember?
Costello is the tall one. Bud Abbott
is the short one,
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So like he's somehow in this scene, and he's not supposed to be there. He's hiding, but he plays this dummy, and he's just laying there like this, and then they throw him over the. Mike Mazurky throws him over the railing.
Yeah, look at wrestlers going all the way back.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, yeah, it says throughout his career, he never gave up pro wrestling. He admitted that he just loved the reaction from the crowd. And he actually even went back when he couldn't compete as a wrestler anymore. He worked as a referee then. But yeah, check him out. He was in so much. He was in Charlie's Angels, the TV show, Kung Fu, the TV show, Gunsmoke. So much stuff. He worked with John Wayne a lot in those old like Western movies and stuff.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Cool.
I mean, probably back then, it's like you need somebody who knows how to be on camera, who can be physical, who can do some of their own stunts. Sure. How about a wrestler? Makes total sense.
Yeah. All
right, Casey, we're at the end of the hour. We're doing the power breeze through. Go.
David Arquette.
You can't call him can you call him a wrestler? Isn't he sort of a silly actor who went and pretends to be a wrestler, or is he actually doing wrestling?
So David Arquette was in the movie Ready to Rumble. We talked about that earlier. Always had a love for pro wrestling. He felt that, so he always had a love for pro wrestling. During that movie in WCW, they made him the champion in WCW, and he was hated. It's considered one of the worst storylines in pro wrestling history. It was bad. Like I said, I didn't watch WCW at that time. I can't say anything about it. I just know from what I've heard, okay? He always felt horrible about that. He trained within the last 10 years. There's a movie, if you go watch it, it's called You Cannot Kill David Arquette. He trained to be a pro wrestler and just actually stopped pro wrestling last year. He wrestled for like 4 years. That's all he did. He was fucking good. He did so good.
He wrestled for 4 years, did well, and like I maybe I caught a whiff of something that he did something in wrestling. That's what's really crazy about that, because he was he's a pretty well-known name for a minute.
Yeah.
So as soon as he becomes a real wrestler, I'm just surprised he didn't hear more about it.
Yeah. Yeah, his acting career kind of faded away, and he really wasn't getting a lot of acting. I highly recommend that movie. Go watch it. I want to just run down these other ones quick because they're important. Woody Strode. He was in 91 movies. He was a decathlete. Woody Strode. 91 movies, Bill. He was a decathlete. Do you know what a decathlete is?
They drink a lot of decaf when they do their athletic elite stuff. No, a decathlete, it's like one of those events where you got to do a couple things.
A couple? That's 10.
Decade 10.
10 events, Bill. So that's how in shape this guy. He was also a football star and was one of the first Black American players in the NFL.
That's cool. What year is this? When did he get in the movies?
We're going back to 1941 was his pro wrestling career. He dabbled for several months in pro wrestling following the end of his football career in 1949. I'm sorry. So in 1941, Strode dabbled for several months in pro wrestling, period. Following the end of his football career in 1949, he returned to pro wrestling part-time between acting jobs in 1962. And then in 1952, Strode wrestled every week on television from August 12th to December 10th in different cities in California, and was the Pacific Coast champion, the Pacific Coast Negro heavyweight champion, and he later teamed with both Bobo Brazil and Bearcat Wright. And if anybody that's into pro wrestling, they'll know those names. So he also went to become a film actor. He was nominated for a Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actor for his role in Spartacus in 1960. You ever see that, Bill?
I've seen Spartacus, yeah, but I wouldn't have known this.
So he
backstory.
was the gladiator Draba who fought Spartacus, played by Kirk Douglas, and Draba actually won the contest, but instead of killing Spartacus, he attacks the military commander who paid for the fight. So after that, he went on, like, he got a bunch of roles after that.
All right, this guy's gonna need his whole episode. We're gonna have to talk about him alone.
No, that's it.
All right, who else you got?
That's it, bud. David Arquette, George the Animal Steele. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, what was he in?
He was in Ed Wood.
Okay.
Ruthless People.
That's a good movie, yeah.
He was in Used Cars. Small Town Conspiracy.
Don't know that one.
I got another one here for you. Do you know who Lenny Montana was?
No.
You ever see The Godfather?
Yeah, some of it. I'm one of the few people that have never seen all the Godfather movies.
I've never seen any of it,
No.
but I know who Luca Brasi was. Do you ever hear of that? From The Godfather? He was the hitman.
Okay.
So Lenny Montana played him, and this is pretty interesting. Lenny Montana was actually a bodyguard for many senior members of the Colombo crime family before becoming a pro wrestler. And like he was all over. He wrestled in the NWA, which is still around. He was in The Jerk. He was in Below the Belt, Blood Song Skipper, ton of movies. Started all with The Godfather.
You know, you said George the Animal Steele. I actually thought he was in Escape from New York. And I was sitting there thinking about my list, and I was like, I don't know that was him. And I went and looked it up. It was a guy named Ox Buford. Do you know who Ox Buford is? Or no, I got it wrong. Ox Baker. So
yeah. Big.
I couldn't officially put him on my list because I got it all wrong. But yeah, you're right. He had that crazy mustache, and yeah, he beat up Kurt Russell, not Kurt Douglas. Poor Kurt Douglas getting his ass kicked by this guy. That would be a scene. Yeah. Right. So you know who that is, Ox Baker?
Yeah, I know we're getting to the end here. Just a quick rundown: John Cena. Ton of movies, great movies. I watched that Vacation Friends that you told me about. That's fucking funny. Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was in a ton of stuff. Jesse the Body Ventura, Predator, Running Man, Demolition Man.
Damn it, I forgot he was in Predator. That was a dumb miss on my part. Yeah, of course. Predator.
A couple quick ones I remember that these were just off the top of my head. You were like, I did everything from memory. I was like, fuck, I actually did research for this shit. And then I was like, oh, yeah, now I remember off the top of my head. Vader. Remember Big Van Vader? He was on Boy Meets World.
Yeah, no, that wasn't my show. You mentioned that show a lot. You must have been a Boy Meets World guy.
I like Topanga. Triple H, he was on the Drew Carey show. I remember Bret Hart. I remember him. He was on The Simpsons one time. I remember The Rock and Ken Shamrock on the 70s show. And The Rock, Triple H, Mick Foley, and The Big Show were all on Saturday Night Live one time. And I remember also, I think Triple H was on an episode of Mad TV one time.
Yeah, sometimes these guys are funny, man. It's really cool to see because right now The Rock, Bautista, and Cena, like they're three of the biggest stars right now, and they came out of professional wrestling.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. It's kind of interesting.
Very cool, man. And now there's also this other wrestler too. One more quick shout out. His name was Zach Lee. You remember him?
Yeah, what happened to Zach Lee?
Well, his name is Casey Shearer, and he was in a movie recently called Roseblood, Friday the 13th. He played Jason Voorhees.
You put yourself on the list. I love it. Shameless. What a bastard. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up today's episode. Casey, what do you got for us before we go?
Go to our link in our description everywhere, Bear Claw Kitchen. Really good granola bars, honey, granola, all kinds of different snacks. Order yours for Christmas. A lot of good gift packs. They have a ton of stuff over there. Deluxe edition. Or no, I'm sorry. Deluxe 15 at checkout for 15% off of your entire order. Let's see. We're on The Den now. Go check out theden.show. We're on a network of great podcasts. This month's podcast of the month is Take on the World with my buddy Mike Zellner. Let's see. What else we got, Bill?
I was listening to one the other day. Damn it. It's blanking. I even sent you a note. I said, you got to check out this guy.
Al Ardmore or whatever?
Yeah. Whoa, this guy's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I've just gotten a little bit into it through listening to the podcast, and I was just like, this is a great topic.
Yeah.
So it's some pretty cool stuff on the Den Network. Yeah.
Yeah, check it out, theden.show, and then check us out. We're at deluxeedition.show. You can check me out on Instagram at the official Muffler Man. Bill's at Bill Sebald. We are at Deluxe Edition Pod on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. Make sure you follow us, subscribe everywhere, tell your friends. It helps more than you know.
And tell us what wrestlers we missed.
Yeah. Tell Bill all the mistakes that he made and how he rushed me through this.
That's right. That's right. Because remember, all the feedback you leave tricks the algorithm into thinking we should be ranked number one. So yell at us. We love it. Hate us. Leave it all there. Leave it all behind. Leave it for us to deal with.
No, seriously, though, thank you for all your support. We actually made, I know Bill doesn't think it's a huge deal, but we actually made the iTunes charts, which in the top 200, and like I explained to Bill, it's better than the top fucking 5,000. So,
oh, don't get me wrong. I love growth. I just don't think anybody's scrolling down to the 200th on the list. But one day, getting up to the top 10, then I'll be like, you know what, man, we did it.
Yeah. If you're listening on iTunes, make sure you leave us a review. If you're watching on YouTube, just click that like button, subscribe, and then also be sure to follow me on my other podcast, Saturdays with Chicken Duck. And anything else, Bill?
Yeah, if you see us on Hulu, you're watching the wrong show. And that'll do it till next episode. Thank you, everybody, for listening.